Here is a General Electric branded plant light kit as opposed to a ceiling fan light kit. I don't see anywhere on the box where it mentions a model number, but the description is noted as PLK-1, and the product order code is the interesting combination of numbers 44848. Now, this is used for growing plants inside. I'm very curious about the bulb that's included. I got this because I like the graphics on the box, but I'm also very curious as to what the bulb is. I would imagine it's some type of full spectrum bulb, but I don't know. Here's the unit itself, and I don't think that it has the original bulb, which is very disappointing. But before we get to that, I'll take a closer look at some parts of the box. Aside from getting plants to grow in darker parts of the house, it looks like the intention for this was also to be used as an accent light of sorts. Indicated here, you can project interesting light patterns on the wall by shining the light through the leaves of the trees. And then you can also highlight and enhance growth of foliage and encourage blooms indoors. This is more of the conventional use case for a plant light. This is kind of a ridiculous claim. It is UL listed, a 6-foot power cord, which is now annoyingly wrapped around the stinking product with one of those dumb inline cheesy switches. An informative booklet on indoor gardening with GE plant lights. Do we have that? Oh, we do have that. The Grow and Show. Okay, that's cool. Take a look at that. And there's also this piece of foam in the bottom here. I guess that's just part of the original packaging, most likely. GE 65-watt plant light reflector lamp, which I unfortunately think we don't have. Plant lights also available in reflector lamps, household bulbs, and fluorescent tubes. I've seen many of fluorescent indoor grow lights over the years, but something like this with a regular incandescent bulb I have not seen very often. Avoid contact of hot bulbs with liquid or metal, as glass may shatter. Avoid use at short distances on materials that are flammable or susceptible to heat damage. The two sides of the box are the same. And here's what the front of the box looks like. Is this wall mountable? It is. And then here's the top, which I was able to preserve by some miracle, as the pesky OK Wool sticker was over here and I was able to get it off perfectly. So let's take a look at this. What is this? Important safety instructions. Do not attempt to defeat this safety feature. Don't tell me what to do. GE Lighting, Plant Light, Grow and Show. I'm surprised that's not trademarked. Growing plants indoors is a fascinating hobby. Numerous attractive flowering, trailing, and foliage plants can be successfully nurtured inside the house with the aid of General Electric fluorescent and incandescent lamps. Plants need light to grow. The amount of natural daylight that enters your home is neither uniform nor abundant. That's cap. There's plenty of abundance of natural daylight that enters my home. General Electric has lamps that can supplement daylight and make growing and showing plants in your home possible at all times. General Electric Plant Light Grow and Show fluorescent lamps produce a balance of red and blue light that is beneficial for plant propagation and enhances vegetation and reproductive growth of many homegrown plants. Mounting heights of fluorescent lamps above plants will vary depending on the number of lamps used and the light requirements of the plant species. Lamps are normally positioned 6 to 8 inches above plants. Most plants need 14 to 16 hours of light per day to grow satisfactorily. I don't think that's accurate. Fluorescent lamps are the best and most popular electric light sources for growing plants. However, incandescent lamps can be used to supplement natural daylight or used alone, where it is not possible or practical to use fluorescent. Flowering or foliage plants that do not require high levels of light do best under incandescent lamps. The R30 incandescent and R40 incandescent reflector incandescent lamps that are used for growing can also serve to illuminate plants in a dramatic incandescent manner. To prevent damage to plant foliage due to heat, position the R lamps at an incandescent length of 2 incandescent feet or more from the plants. Many small incandescent table and swag chain planters are now on the incandescent market. In these incandescent planters, the lower incandescent wattage 50 R20 and 60A incandescent lamps can be used. Additional use. These GE incandescent lamps can also be used for incandescent aquariums. Incandescent growing tips. Temperature. Daytime temperatures of 70 to 75 degrees F with nighttime incandescent temperatures of 60 to 65 F are recommended. That's a lot of temperature flux in the house. Water. Use tepid water. What the heck is tepid water? Not cold water from the tap. Water thoroughly, but do not overwater. This varies per species of plant, so there's no way that this is successfully making a recommendation of how to water all plants. That's absurd. Humidity. Most plants grow best in a relative humidity of 40 to 50%. That's a very generalized statement that's not accurate either. Ventilation. Space plants to permit air movement between them. Use Alaska 3733 to aid in airflow. This can help eliminate foliage diseases and allow plants to develop stronger roots, stems, and leaves. Soil. Commercial soils can be purchased that are well aerated and provide excellent drainage. These should be used to obtain best growth results. Fertilizing. Follow manufacturer's directions when using commercially available fertilizers. GE lighting. This is probably old enough to be from before Savant bought out the General Electric lighting lineup. So now we're going to waste a couple seconds unwrapping this cord because this is just such a ridiculous thing to do. I don't know why people think that this is reasonable. It's totally unreasonable and ridiculous, and it ruins the cord, as you can see. This now is more like a telephone cord, but it doesn't make any calls. So this does have a polarized plug, so it's probably not that old, but I would expect this is probably a 90s era unit. It's got a General Electric plug, which is pretty cool, with the GE logo on the prongs. I really like that. And the switch is it a General Electric switch? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be indicative of the brand. Oh no, there's the brand. It is a Yinglong switch. It's allegedly UL listed. That actually doesn't feel too bad. Some of these switches feel really cheap and they don't make a good connection on or off, and they can result in a lot of arcing. This one seems to sit in place and come out of place pretty nicely. Alright, so here's the light itself. It's got a metal base. I guess that's the model PLK-1. There's an old UL listing tag. And there's your wall mount keyhole. It's a little bit loose in there. I guess it allows for rotation. It makes sense. The light is adjustable. You can tighten it down a little bit like that. Got a textured base to it. And now let's take a look inside here. Oh, maybe this is, no, I guess this is the original bulb. It just doesn't have the writing on the top, it has the writing on the side. Well, I suppose it could be a replacement bulb, but it's the correct one for the fixture. It's the plant grow and show. The show is spelled correctly now, but grow is not. 65R30 PL 65 watt incandescent bulb. And it has a plastic looking coating on the top. That's why I thought that this might be a DEL, because it looked like a cheap plastic, but it is glass. Very curious to see what the coloring of this is. And here's the warning information inside of there. With a couple model numbers of acceptable bulbs. And there's the socket. Actually, it appears to be a ceramic socket down in there. So I guess this was made with some degree of quality. I don't think that we're going to be able to see. Can we see what the filament looks like? Kind of. I hope it's not broken. Well, let's see. Let's end it back to the fixture. It's pretty squeaky. I wonder if there's a mouse in here. Ah, hurry up! Gosh, you take forever to do anything. Yeah, welcome to my world. Everything just crawls like it does on these videos. Okay, let's end this to the plug. We're going to be testing it at 117.1 the volts. And it's either switched off or busted. It was switched off. It is the working. So the power information is .52 the amps, 59.2 the watts, and a power factor .96. I don't know why it's not 1. So the bulb does have an interesting color to it. It's definitely not a conventional 2700K bulb. It's a little bit cooler than that. It's probably more of like a 3000 or 3500. It's not significantly cooler, but it is slightly. I have my doubts about how effective that this would actually be. I don't think that a little blue coating on the top of an incandescent bulb is really giving a good full spectrum ray of light to the plants. I guess this is a situation where a DEL fixture kind of has a bit of an advantage, because you can build a DEL fixture that doesn't use a whole lot of power, but gives you ultraviolet, blue, red, white, all these different colors of the wavelength that you can shine on the plants, and somewhat replicate what it would experience in the sun. Well, then again, people make the argument, and I make this argument too, an incandescent light bulb is probably the closest replication of natural light, but does it have the same type of UV and spectrum that the sun does? I don't know the answer to that. I don't think it does, because, like, why don't you get sunburn from a lamp? If it was exactly the same. I don't know. Maybe someone who knows more about that type of about lighting and wavelengths can leave a constructive comment about how that works and how an incandescent light bulb compares to the sun in terms of the wavelength and so forth. So as far as the color rendering is concerned, as would generally be expected, it's pretty good. Actually looks to be very good. All the colors appear pretty good in person to me, and they seem to be appearing pretty good on the video as well. There's probably some type of tool or a meter that you could hold this light bulb up to, and it would tell you like a spectrum analysis of the different wavelengths that it's putting out. That would be a very interesting piece of equipment to have to compare these different light bulbs. I imagine something like that is very expensive, but I should probably look into it just to see, if by chance maybe it's not. Now with the bulb kind of indirectly shining at the table and the wall, it looks a little bit cooler than it did before, as when it's shining directly on the wall. It almost looks more of like a 4000 or so, kind of a cool white color. I wonder if that's got something to do with the bulb reflecting off the edges of the fixture, or if it just gets cooler as you go towards the edge of the bulb. And of course the camera has auto white balance, so it's kind of taking out some of these changes that I can see in person that are not going to get captured accurately into the video. Okay, we'll shut it off. Alright, so that works. The packaging is in good shape. We've got the documentation, and we have the original working light bulb. That's a pretty neat piece. I do grow a lot of plants in the house. Unlike what the manual says, I have an abundance of natural light that comes in several rooms in the house, and I've never needed to use a grow light to successfully raise plants inside. But I have, on many occasions, considered setting up a grow light situation to try to grow like tomatoes and cucumbers and things like that inside over the winter time. I just don't have the space for it. Well, I have the space, but the space is full of stuff I don't need, so I've never done that, but maybe someday I will try that, and perhaps this can be used in that case.